I'm talking to Boone Froggatt today on Pop Explosion. Hello, Boone.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, good. I was listening to Last Fool in the Line. It's a new single. Came out what, July 16th?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
It's already got 1,000 hits. That's
Oh yeah.
cool.
Thanks, man.
So I want to. Well, I like the single. It's great. I love the riff. The riff is really good. And so you get to do whatever you want over the riff because it's just so cool. How'd you come up with that?
Man, I've been listening to a lot of 60s soul and a lot of Motown, then like the southern stuff from like Atlantic fame, Muscle Shoals, and I'd ran across this song by the Marvelettes called "Danger" and "Heartbreak Dead Ahead," and it's got kind of this looping kind of riff thing musically, and I wanted to incorporate something like that into what we were doing, so that was kind of the the birth of it musically.
Now, I love the Marvelettes, but when they play with my friends in the band, the Toys, A Lover's Concerto,
Yeah.
about 10 years ago. And I'm at the gig, and the Marvelettes look like the great granddaughters of the Marvelettes.
Huh.
There's no original members. So someone owns the name, and they have all new people, but it's a tribute band. It's not the real band anymore.
Right.
Those records were great.
Oh yeah, man. Those it just there was such a high level of songwriting and playing at that time in music. I would like to get back to that someday.
Well, that's what should be happening. Um, Again, who knows how big corporations shift all the music towards us, what they want us to buy, and again, we have YouTube, we have DIY, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Now. So when did the band start? I know you took a 7 year layoff.
Well, we our first album came out in 2015 called "Tough Times," a tribute to John Brim, which was produced by Greg Martin of the Kentucky Headhunters. And John Brim was a Kentucky native that moved to Chicago in his teens and recorded for the Chess label along with Muddy Waters and Helen Wolf and all the rest of the greats. So we did a tribute album to him with his lyrics and our music. And Billy Gibbons was a big fan of the album from ZZ Top and gave us a nice press quote to use. And we toured off that for a bit. And then 2018, we had our second album, Eyes of the Sun, come out on Cleopatra Records. Did some more touring, went to Europe twice on that. And then 2020, the pandemic hit. And our original drummer, Andrew, decided that he wanted to stay home and do the family thing. And then our other original guitar player decided he wanted to go play bass for an active rock band, which just left myself and the co-founder of the band, John Seeley. And in the middle of all that going on, I had thyroid cancer, had to get my thyroid removed, take some radiation, and do all that stuff. So it took me about a year of dealing with the health stuff to get on the other side of it. And then once I got the green light there, then we started looking for guys to bring into the band and get it back going. So we did. We got Alex Wells on guitar and Dale Myers on drums, and we started back touring in 2023. We went out and played about 20 dates last year, and then got into the studio at the end of the year and started recording these singles. And we're on track to probably play 30, 40 shows this year. So it's good to be back going and releasing music and talking to folks like you.
Beautiful, man. It says in the press release that the song was recorded live. Oh, took my glasses off, right?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah, it
blind
was
as a
a
bat.
it was a live studio take at the Rock House in Franklin, Tennessee, and Kevin McKendry, he's a Grammy winner. He produced and engineered on the session, and Kevin's a great guy. He's played with George Thorogood, Brian Setzer, Delbert McClinton. He's a very talented guy. So we're very fortunate to get to work on these singles with him.
George Thorogood. Now I'm from Boston, so I used to see George in the '70s.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like 15 people in the room twice. So you
Wow.
you wouldn't think that now, right? But like everyone's got to start somewhere. And there's like I'm on top of Noman Copy Center in Central Square, and there was George Thorogood playing, and then again at the Cyclorama. So it's very interesting when you hear that they played to so few people and then became so big.
Oh yeah, man. People my age, I may not have heard of John Lee Hooker or Mississippi Fred McDowell and some of these other boogie guys if it wasn't for George Thorogood doing what he did first.
Yeah, he really took it to another level because just the way he plays, it's just so interesting. It was a double bill with the Modern Lovers. Remember them? Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers?
I'm not familiar, but I'll definitely check it out.
They were devotees of the Velvet Underground. So it was a
Okay.
bit of a. They were Boston bands, but the Modern Lovers had nothing in common with George Thorogood. But there they were, with the drummer from the Velvet Underground in the audience. So it was a very. We're going back 50 years.
Yeah.
But when I see the name George Thorogood, I digress. And that's part of this show, digression. But when you say you were in the studio, which studio did you go into?
It's Kevin's home studio. It's called the Rock House, and it's located in Franklin, Tennessee.
So you're in Kentucky. You went to Tennessee to tape at that place, but you also recorded at the concert hall.
No, it was a live take in the studio, which just means we just recorded it live on the floor with no overdubs or
Okay.
anything.
All right. Now I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So it was done live.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. But the other songs, you did other songs that weren't done just live, right?
Yeah, yeah, like our previous albums where there's a lot more overdubs and a lot more other things going on because they didn't have the capabilities for us to record all live on the floor, but we could at Kevin's, so that's what we chose to do.
Oh, now I get it. Okay. Light Dawn's on Marblehead. So I reviewed Cleopatra Records before. What was the demo that got the deal for Cleopatra?
It it was a song we sent them two songs. We sent them a song called Change and a song called Blind Hog, and they listened to both songs and they said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a full-length release." And they didn't ask us about any social media numbers or any record sales. They just said, "Well, we believe in what you're doing. Let's do it."
Well, the band's solid. I mean, it
Thank
sounds
you.
just great. It comes right off the grooves. Um, John Lappin doesn't send me material that's substandard, but it was a real treat to listen this morning because the song has a groove, and,
Well,
and I
thanks.
saw 1,000 hits on it. It's like, wow, this is really cool that people are listening, and it's such a good tune.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. We've been very fortunate. Like here in the past week, we were up for Tracks of the Week in Classic Rock Magazine, and Joe Bonamassa added us to two of his playlists on Spotify. So since its release, we've got over 13,000 streams on the song so far.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I didn't know Joe Bonamassa put stuff up on Spotify. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got several playlists, and he's such a great advocate for blues influence in modern music, and kind of helps other bands like us out when he gets the chance.
So, when did you first pick up a guitar or
Uh,
instrument?
I was my grandfather was an old time fiddler, and my dad played honky tonk style guitar. So I was on stage at 8 years old, and then I started playing guitar at around 12 years old. But what really set it off for me was I found a cassette tape in my dad's collection of BB King, and once I heard that big voice and BB doing that one note vibrato, it was over. Then I knew what I wanted to do from that point forward.
What was it like being on stage at 8? Was it was fun? Was Grandpa there too?
Oh yeah, Grandpa's on stage, Dad was on stage, I was on stage. So it was just something that the family did every weekend, and I never even gave it any thought. It was just what you did.
Wow, do they have photos and things or any audio recordings?
Yeah, yeah. There's videos and pictures, and they even My grandfather even had a TV show on cable television for a while where he was, it was, the band playing and square dances and all that stuff. So that's the environment that I grew up around.
Oh, that's a very cool heritage. Really
Sure.
nice. Wow. And the other members of the band, how did you all meet the original group?
John and I, co-founder of the band, we met through my dad's band because he had came in to play bass. So we started talking about music and we kind of hit it off and we were like, we'd like to do something besides, play cover music on the weekends and that's kind of how the whole thing started. And then we got with Andrew and Steve, the other two original members of the band, and started writing and playing out and got those first two records out and then like I said, the hiatus happened. Then we brought Alex and Dale into the band, and both of those guys have a lot of musical heritage in their family as well. Dale, his dad is a luthier, builds guitars, works on guitars, and Alex, his uncle is in the blues rock band Rufus Huff that Greg Martin helped found and create from the Headhunters. So we all got a good dose of music from our families.
Now, where do you tour? You
Uh,
go,
all over, man. We've been to Europe twice, all over the United States. We actually just played the Iridium in New York City a couple of weekends ago, which was a really big honor for us because that was Les Paul's hangout where he played every week in New York there on Times Square and opened for Wayne Baker Brooks there. So that was a lot of fun.
what was some of the most fun stuff you've had in Europe? And what countries and what exciting things happened that you didn't expect?
Oh man, it's just the whole spirit experience was just amazing because they have a different reverence for live music there than we do here. Before the show, people they'll get them two or three beers or whatever they're drinking because they don't want to lose their spot in the crowd. So they show up early. They're there where they're supposed to be. Nobody's on their phone or watching a game on TV. I mean, they're there to hear music, which is a really beautiful thing. And we got to play some really interesting places. We got to play Caerphilly Castle in Wales. We got to play Ramblin' Man Fair in Kent, England. We got to play Ulster Hall, and that's the first place that Led Zeppelin played Stairway to Heaven live. So that was a really cool place to have a show and perform.
Interesting. So you played a castle. What were the acoustics like in there?
Oh, it was amazing, man. We played the courtyard right outside the castle. So, you got the castle tower kind of as your backdrop, and they brought in big stage and production for us. So it was a very unique experience to have. We had our green room for the day, in the castle of the tower of the castle. So it's just us being from the United States, we had never seen something that old. So just being there around it was a pretty big deal for us.
Did you go touring the place just to see what?
Oh yeah, man. We walked the grounds, checked it out, got a tour of the castle, and then walked around, the town there in Wales where the castle is, Caerphilly, and see what they had going on. It was a very unique experience.
What was the country that surprised you the most touring over there?
Man, we really enjoyed touring the Netherlands. They really liked us over there, and it's interesting. We come from a small town that's got one stoplight, and to go all the way over there and play for people like that, and they get it and enjoy what we're doing. It's a big thing for a band from a small town like us.
Well, blues and southern rock in the Netherlands. It's like I wouldn't think that.
I
You
know
know,
that's the surprising thing about it, and it's as much as I love the Beatles. I can't play the Beatles authentically because I don't have the cultural surroundings that they did. I didn't grow up the same way they did. So I guess it's much the same. If there's somebody that wants to play Southern rock over there, they're not going to quite get it the way we do because we have the roots of it here. The blues and gospel presence that started here in America and grew into to rock and roll and other genres.
Do you like Georgia Satellites?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was in their A&R man's office, Kevin Patrick from Elektra, and he said, "Joe, I find this band, Georgia Satellites,
Uh-huh.
and I fly down there, and all the A&R guys are following me." So he thought they had no independent thought because so someone finds a band and then everyone else just tries to ride on the train. It's just interesting how that happened. But yeah, they made their mark. What other bands are your influences?
Oh man, there's so many. Of course, the most obvious ones is Allman Brothers, ZZ Top, Humble Pie, The Faces. Of course, all the classic blues stuff. Muddy Waters, Otis Rush, Lightning Hopkins, Howlin' Wolf. But like I said, we got really deep influences. We love all the soul stuff. We love honky tonk stuff. Like Graham Parsons, Marty Stewart. We listen to a wide variety of stuff, but it's all got good merit.
Interesting. BB King, you mentioned. Now, BB is a whole other from Allman Brothers, but I can hear both in your music.
I really appreciate that, man. That's BB King is a big one for me, and the Allman Brothers are just as big, man.
Interesting. John Lappin called me because I called him where we were trying to set up the Zoom.
Hmm.
So the two new guys, how did you find them?
Uh,
And when did you decide, okay, we're going to reactivate the band?
Well, I had a lot of time to kind of think it over. Does the world really need Otis? Should we keep on going? And the answer was always yes. And in the meantime, I got to be the social media manager for the Kentucky Headhunters and go out on the road with them a lot. So that got me a lot of unique experiences. I got to meet, Bobby Rush out there and Kim Wilson, the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and see a lot of cool stuff out on the road with them. So I kind of rebuilt the band while I was working for the Headhunters, and then I started reaching out to some people who I thought might be a good fit for the band. And the first one was Alex Wells, which turned out to be the new guitar player in the band. And he had been a fan of the band for some while and understood where we were coming from musically. So I thought this would be a solid fit, and it worked out. And then with Dale, there were so many people that where we're from that were suggesting Dale to me, like, hey, there's this drummer that's coming up. He's really good. He just needs somebody to give him a shot. So we ended up giving him a shot, and it worked out great. And I think it's a more energetic, bigger sounding version of the band than what we had before. So through all this trial and tribulation, we actually come out the other side as a better band.
Now, I would think if you're doing social media for the headhunters, the approach is going to be a lot different from, say, Taylor Swift, who has like TikTok fans. Do you go on TikTok with that group,
No, I
or
mean that's not really where their demographic is. Their demographic is more Facebook and Instagram, and there's actually been a lot of people discover the headhunters through Instagram because I'll post things like Fred the drummer. I'll post him out on the tractor, and I'll make a reel of that, and people find the band through that, or maybe Fred doing a drum solo or a live shot of the band. There's people hungry for the kind of music that the Headhunters create. It's just finding those people through social media and then, making them, future ticket buyers, future fans of the band. And it's a real honor to work with them because they're heroes of mine, and we're from the same area, and they kind of seen that I got the short end of the stick, with the lineup change and everything that was going on, and they're like, "Hey, man, just come work with us until you get it figured out." Which I'm still doing social media management for them, and going on the road when Otis isn't touring. So I'm actually busier than I've ever been, through doing both things.
Now, does Otis have a Twitter X handle?
Yeah, we do. I'm pretty sure it's Otis Band.
Ah, because Twitter is interesting since Elon Musk took over. A lot of the radio stations that were playing my friends that have bands, they would post. And when Elon took over, the posting, a lot of it's gone. I don't know if he charges or what, but it was sad because Twitter was so essential for underground rock bands.
Yeah,
And it seems to have tapered off a bit. But there's, LinkedIn and Facebook and Threads and Instagram. Instagram owns Threads.
correct.
So this morning I put something on Threads, and then, you can easily navigate right to Instagram. It's it's interesting. Do you have a Threads account?
We don't actually I need to get us on Threads, but we do Instagram, Facebook, X, and of course we got a link tree and website and all that good stuff. Man, there's just so many platforms out there. We just try to go where the most people are at.
Now, Otis Linktree, how does one find that? Because that has what, all your social media, right?
Yeah, you can just go to theotisband.com, and then there's a link for our link tree there, and it'll take you to all the socials, all the streaming. We got some interviews up there, and some other things. So there's plenty of stuff to check out there.
OTISBAND.com.
Uh-huh.
Oh, great. So our viewers can go there and get to the social media links, which are, again, it's mind boggling because, like I said, I was posting on Threads and I didn't realize Instagram owned them. But if you go to the top, the Instagram comes up. No, if you go to the top, yeah, the Instagram comes up, and you go down to the bottom, the Threads comes up. It's kind of weird. But, it's Facebook. It's the same thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
so is Otis opening for some acts?
Yeah, yeah, we've been out. We've done some dates with Jackal this year, Wayne Baker Brooks, of course, the Kentucky Headhunters. We've got a future date with those guys, and also we're going to be at Knuckleheads in Kansas City with TC's Rock Trip, which is the great session drummer Tommy that played with Black Sabbath, Ozzy, Alice Cooper. Ted Nugent. So we're going to be doing some dates with those guys as well. So we're busy, man. We're busy.
Did ZZ Top ever replace the musician that passed on?
Yeah, they brought in Billy's longtime guitar tech, Elwood Francis, to play Dusty's parts, and I've seen ZZ since then, and it's an amazing show.
When I was in college, they had on the jukebox Francine in
Yeah.
French, the French version, which is really cool. So I don't tell you how many years ago it was, but it was a lot of fun. That was my first introduction to ZZ Top, Francine. I love that song.
Oh, me too, man. Rio Grande Mud's one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, I had that one. London Records, I think, same label as the Stones.
Yep.
Where'd they go to from London? Did they move to Warner Brothers or something?
Yeah.
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 So, you know, ZZ, what can you say? That would be a great band for you to open for because you're very similar.
Oh yeah, we've had the opportunity to open for ZZ. I think it was 2017, maybe.
Really? What was that like?
Oh, amazing, man! It was a dream come true for us. It was us, Blackstone Cherry, the Kentucky Headhunters, and then ZZ Top headline. So it was a really really amazing day.
Wow, how many people showed up? That's a heck of a bill.
Several thousand. It was in October and it was unseasonably cold, so it wasn't as many as they had projected coming, but it was still, it was probably, maybe 10, 12,000.
Oh, it's outside?
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
yeah, that's a lot of people.
What's the biggest crowd Otis had played to so far?
I think I would say Berg Herzberg Festival in Germany, which is a festival that's 2 years older than Woodstock. So it's that open air art and music type vibe. It's Dole Bramall. The second was there with us. UFO. Graham Nash played the day after us. So it was really amazing. I think there was around maybe 20,000 when we played there.
That is totally cool.
It was
Wow.
it was a
So
big honor.
so the band's in Germany and you're speaking English. Did a lot of people was it easy to navigate Germany?
Yeah, it's funny. Like generally, everybody in German can speak English. They just won't start off speaking English. They want to see what all you know first, and then go from there.
That's funny. Wow. And so you did Germany, you did Netherlands, you did England. That is pretty stunning. What an achievement for the
Uh,
band.
yeah, we're really honored that we got to go over there and do that and play for those folks and have all those cool experiences and hopefully we'll get the opportunity to do it again.
With a big festival like that, do they record automatically? Is there like high tech recordings of
On
all the groups?
on some there is there's some they'll let you bring like a thumb drive in and then you can take the raw tracks with you and then there's some that just don't have the capabilities just because there's too much stuff going on that day. Other boards from other artists coming in and out and gear changing over. So sometimes you get recordings, sometimes you don't. We got a couple of good live recordings from there that we're sitting on.
Interesting. So, do you generally record live video or audio, or do you just like to just play and let it go out to the universe?
It just depends on the situation. Especially if we're headlining and we have time to set up cameras and set up audio, we'll do it. But sometimes it's just the day's so hectic that it's just better to get up there and play the show and let that be the main thing because that's what we're there to do is entertain the people. But like I said, if we have time and the production's good and we get some stuff, we'll generally make time for it.
So, the new single, now you have more singles coming out. They're already queued up.
We do. We have some singles in the can that's going to be coming out while we kind of navigate, new record deals and trying to get another full-length release out there. So you're definitely going to hear more from us.
Now, what do you do? Do you have like a Spotify release date? How does Otis, you know, get the music out?
We have a couple of different publicists that we work with, and they kind of help us, schedule the releases and get everything together press wise. And we try to keep, a couple of songs recorded in advance. And ideally, the streaming sites want you to release something about every 6 weeks, but that's really hard to do. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time to keep up all that going. So it may not be quite that frequent, but we're going to have consistent releases, coming out.
With Spotify now, and I use DistroKid. With DistroKid, you can just upload stuff and send it out. That go to all these different places.
Yeah,
So I like to just keep tossing stuff up because I've been doing this a long time.
right.
So, like I have like 340 songs tracks up on Spotify. Would
Wow.
you do you go that intense, or do you think it's better to reserve some of the material and
I think
concentrate?
I think there's a lot to be said for reserving it and be conscious of what you're releasing as singles. I mean, everybody's playing the singles game right now, and the bad part of that is you only get to show so much of what you can do as a band with each song. But the other great part of it is each song, you get a lot of focus on each song, and you get to tell the backstory and how it was recorded, and do another round of press of talking to folks like you and kind of telling our story and what's going on with the band. So there's a lot of opportunity with the releasing singles in some ways, and in other ways it's kind of a disadvantage.
So, how do people find Otis on Spotify?
Just look up Otis Band, and we should pop right up. Or you can go to our website, and it's got a direct link to all the streaming sites. Spotify, Apple Music, it's all there.
Very cool, man. Anything you'd like to say to our audience? Anything else?
I just appreciate you having me on. I've had a good time talking to you, and come see a live show. We'd love to play some rock and roll for you.
You should come up to the Boston area. There's a lot of good clubs here.
We'd love to, man.
In fact, one of John Lappin's bands from Australia is playing all these beer halls, which I never heard of, but they're all it's a franchise, not a franchise. It's got one owner, but there's multiple beer halls, and I guess there's a lot of people that just show up there.
Huh.
So, yeah, that'd be great to see up in New England, because that group played about 5 different halls in these 6 states, which
Wow.
make up New England, which is, you guys would love it up here. In fact, I think you'd be really welcome in Maine.
Well, we need to work on that then.
Yeah, there's a blues club on York Beach just when you enter Maine, and you could blow the doors open on that one. And
Cool.
and that is like the most marvelous place in the world. Anyways, that's just my idea. If you want me to come to a show, come to New England.
All right, man, you got it.
Hey, great talking to you.
You too, man.
All right, have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
Thanks.